Welcome back to another episode of the Culture Captures Spotlight podcast. My name is Joe, and today I'm being joined with Cami.
Yo, what's poppin'?
So thanks for setting the time aside for being here. The time of recording, you've had like two songs drop in the last like couple days. We'll get into it, but like how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. It's cold.
Yeah.
I was out in fucking Cabo, and I'm back in Chicago and shit.
When did you get back from Cabo?
Like a couple of days ago, like on the 7th or 8th or something.
Were you out there for New Year's or not?
Uh, did we go out there for New Year's? No, we left on the 3rd.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's nice though. It's nice to get out of the cold. I'm hoping to do the same soon myself. But like for the people listening, who don't already know like a little bit about you, like kind of go into detail, like who you are, what you do, the whole deal.
Uh, yeah. I guess my name is Kami, and I breathe. I like to breathe.
That's yeah. You selling yourself short. He's a really talented artist too. That's something else that he does. And like again, I'm really excited to talk about some of the stuff you've been putting out recently. It's just like really some of the best music I've been hearing. Been streaming your stuff a lot. So again, super excited to have you on the podcast. So like one of my kind of like first questions for you is just kind of like the growing up in Chicago. I'm not from here. I'm from Massachusetts. So like, my whole like perspective on your guys' music scene is just way different of like it's just way more of an option for people to jump into. And like how much would you say like growing up in Chicago has been like resource to kind of like lean into music and get started?
I mean, Chicago, like just growing up here, I guess you could get into a couple of things, you know what I mean? Like you always, like it's just a couple of different routes that you could take. And I feel like music just happened to be around so all the time and so much that I just gravitated towards it. Like just even as a kid in Chicago, like music was like super important, or not even important, but like just prevalent in a sense of like, like in elementary school, like you listening to music trying to get on girls, like that's when Lil Bow Wow was out and stuff like that. Then you go up a little bit, it's like Lil Wayne and all that shit. So it's just like music was just always such a part of life and part of the culture that in some way, form, or fashion, you were trying to emulate it. And it just, again, like I think it just comes down to like I feel like everybody who's ever loved music has at least tried to make a song in some capacity or freestyle or some shit like that. And it just comes down to like if you feel like you're good at it or not, and just actually trying to stay consistent at it.
So I'm guessing you probably started making music at like a really young age then, like 10, 11.
Yeah, like first rap definitely was. I remember me and Fresco was like in 3rd grade trying to make a rap. Well, we did make a rap group and like perform that shit in front of our class and all that type of shit. So it's just like from early, I definitely wanted to rap and wanted to make music and wanted to be an artist and all of that. But I don't think it was until I, like even just having like African parents, they like kind of just was like, nah, you can't be that. Or not that you can't be that, but you better not. Like the chances of doing this is 1 in a billion, whatever. So it's just, once you grow up, you kind of start to make those decisions and take those risks for yourself. And, it's always cool to see any type of reaction to anything that you put out.
No, that's just a really good point though, because like that whole message where you're saying like take risks and like kind of avoid molds people put on you in terms of what you want to create and emulate, like with your life, that's just like a really important message for people to kind of like understand, especially for people out there who want to like really go out and create something. And like, what is kind of your creation process like when you're in the like studio, or you're just kind of stepping into the booth, like making a song?
Yeah, I mean, like nowadays, it'd be more or less about having something to talk about. Um, I think earlier on, it used to just be like trying to like make a song, whether that meant rhyming words and just saying the craziest shit. Just really just trying to make a song from A to B. Like, like just I don't know, just free firing. Like anything could be a song, you know what I mean? Like just coming up with shit on the spot, and that shit still happens for sure. But I think now the best songs that I make, or the way that I be trying to approach it, is just like actually having something to say. Like if you was gonna have a conversation with somebody, or like have a meaningful conversation with somebody, you wouldn't just be unprepared for that conversation. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't just want to just go into that conversation not having anything to actually talk about. So treating the music the same way, as like it's all conversational. You want to step in with something to say, and usually that should just figure itself out after you have the intention of having something to say.
So I wanted to bring this to your attention because I wasn't really sure if you knew about it or not. 2022 is going to be like the 10-year anniversary of your debut mixtape, Light. Were you like aware of that?
I did not know that at all. That's so.
Which is pretty impressive accomplishment and achievement for you, that you've been able to put out and like grow from that for 10 years and like build a real discography. So like just kind of finding that out, what is that like? How does that kind of feel to hear?
No, that's crazy, because I just remember making Light and thinking, like in my head, thinking like I was the best rapper in the world. Like, or like, I remember like my influences back then was like, like Doom and all, like, I think even J.L.X. had just came out with some crazy shit. And I just remember like, man, like, hearing words I ain't never hear before, and just like how they was putting them together so intricately, and just like like still finding a way to tell these stories, or at least paint these images with the words and shit. So I remember feeling like, man, this is how I want to approach this shit. Like I really want to say the most lyrical, spiritual, miracle shit of all time. And then that's how Light came about, you know what I mean? Just conceptually. And it's so interesting because pushing past that, the actual type of person that I am is way more freeform than that. And just, or at least the person I think I grew into being is way more freeform than that, and way more like, just like, I don't think everything has to be in things. Like I really love things in their simplest form nowadays. So it's just always so interesting whenever I hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, Light was," or just that anybody who even knows about Light, it just was such a different time in my life.
Yeah, I mean that's just like 10 years. There's a lot of growth that can happen, right? There's a lot of real life events like outside of just music that are just that are like ABC that can happen and that really change a person and change how you're gonna, go about making and creating anything, right? And I think, like obviously, again, I'm no artist, but like I understand what a creation process like looks like and what it takes to mold together like different styles of things and to create one object. And like I don't know, it's really cool to just see like what you're on now and compared to like 10 years ago, and just that like development is just really incredible. What are some like other plans that you might have going into like the new year and like 2022 in general?
I mean, I just finished the album. Uh, yeah, like I just finished this album that I've been really excited about. I'm you know, just getting back into just putting out music in general, like even with my friends collectively, like with all the Save Money shit, like we're all just getting back into like feeling good about putting music out together again. Just, like taking it back to the basics and just having fun with the shit again, not overthinking the shit, and just, just showing people that we, like, at least from my perspective, like just showing people that I'm active and trying to be consistent, because it's always been a conversation like, oh yeah, you should blow this year, or you should do this year. And I'm like, I just always drop something and then just kind of go silent for a little minute, just go live life and shit like that. But right now I'm pretty focused on music and putting music out and trying to connect with my fans and people who subscribe to me and shit like that. So
that's wonderful to hear. Like recently, it's tail end of 2021, but you dropped that Noah's Ark song with the video, and that was one of the coolest videos like I've seen of the year. Can you talk about that day, like what the shoot was like? Shout out to the video crew that did that too.
Yeah, no, it was my homie Alec Bass. I think I'm saying his last name right, and his and Max. But we came up with this idea. We came up with several ideas for that video, and again, like going back to simplest form, I kind of just wanted just something to represent like the idea of where that song fits in the album. I think the album, without saying too much about it, it's like this idea and this journey of isolation and separation and all of that type of shit. So I kind of wanted to start approaching the visual themes of that. And I know, like, one of the things about the video is like, oh, it doesn't go with the song because the song is like fast pacing and shit like that. But for me, it's like, that's A, what felt good to me, and B, I feel like not all, like, sometimes art is to be challenged, like, not ironically, you know what I mean? Like, it's not for the sake of just being like, oh, I'm gonna make a music video that doesn't go. It's like, that shit felt good to me, and I was like, it shouldn't always have to be linear, what you're seeing versus what you're hearing in the context of it being a music video. It shouldn't always have to be like, oh, this is a fast-paced song, so I need fast-paced cuts and all that shit. Or this is a dance song, so I need like hella girls or hella women in the video doing da-da-da. And just, those are just two examples, but I think we get so caught up. And obviously it's like, there is something to the I guess, for lack of a better word, science to like the stimulation of like seeing something and then hearing something that goes with it at the same pace and rhythm. But I think that it's cool to try to challenge that and see what you can get out of that shit, which is what the Noah's Ark video was for me.
No, it was a really like incredible video. It got a huge response and like kind of got a lot of love from the city and just like the industry, which was really cool to see too. Because I mean, it was December when that. Did you film it in December?
Nah, hell nah. Shit just took a while because like it just took a while. That shit wasn't I was really out on that water, and like the visual effects was the thing that took the most time.
Right on, because I was gonna say if you filmed that any time within the last like month and a half, they weren't telling you how cold we were in that video. But if you filmed that months ago, I get you. That's cool. And like, today I think the day we're recording this, Unified just dropped too with Perp and Vic. What, right? Today? They dropped it today or yesterday?
Yeah, I think like earlier. Oh no, yeah, yesterday. What's today? The 12th? Yeah, the 11th.
Okay.
So,
And you dropped another single recently too. So you're leading up to put out the album, and I know you don't want to like say too much, but is there anything that you could maybe tease or offer up on it, like the name or when it might be dropping?
I want to drop it. Like as of right now, I'm pushing for a March release, like somewhere in March, maybe even April. It is done. It's just a matter of just all the usual shit, just trying to come up with marketing and how we gonna push it, and just make sure that we putting it out in a way where everybody can receive it and have the opportunity to actually hear it.
That's dope. And like every artist is different when they're working on an album, but did you have like a set time frame roughly that you started working on this project, or was it one of those things where you've just been working on music with kind of no album in mind for like years and then have kind of just looked through the catalog?
Nah, I was hella trying to make an album. I made like 2 albums trying to make this album. I didn't really feel good about the other 2, so I just kind of kept going. And this album came out of, I guess, the fact that I didn't like the other 2 albums. Like, it helped me kind of center a good theme for this album. And I mean, yeah, it just took shape.
That's wild though. That you've had 2 full like renditions of this album that the fans are gonna get to see. That really shows in the like how much you've put in on it. So I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah.
What was it like though when you have like, even when you hear the first rendition and there's that like setback for you as a creative and like as the artist, like how did you handle like a situation like that?
I mean, I think that you just gotta keep going. Like, it's as simple as that. It was like, you're not gonna hit every shot. You're not gonna win every game type shit. It's that simple. It's like, for the love of the game type shit. Like, do you want to keep playing? Like, do you want to keep doing what you're doing? So, and if that's truly it, then you're gonna find yourself progressing no matter what. And yeah, you just, by the time you look up, you where you want to be. I think it's the ups and downs. It's just not getting caught in the downs and just really having faith that you're gonna get back up. So it ain't no stopping. Like, you can fail a million times. It only take like one or 2 times to change everything, where you got people listening to what you're saying.
No, that's a really good point. And I mean, I wanted to ask you too before we kind of transition into just like what you do when you're not making music and working on your craft. You're obviously like, you're one of the members of Save Money, and you co-founded Leather Corduroys. And I wanted to know kind of like for each group, like when did you kind of start with the affiliation and get involved, and how did you kind of get involved too?
I mean, like, there was no like meeting and team that like anything like that. We're just actually friends. We've known each other since childhood, all of that type of shit. So it just was natural. Like, we all ended up doing the same thing. So at one point we just had to call it something, or we wanted to call it something. And then for a long time we just was doing, everybody was finding their individual success and to whatever degrees and shit. But, I think now, I think we've all grown to understand the importance of community, and just, we are always, we talk to each other every day, literally. So we just was like, let's put it back together. Let's just do it. We only get one of these life things. So like, let's just do it to the fullest capacity one time and see what happens.
Was what's just kind of happened over the last couple years, like globally, been like a big part of wanting to get it back together? And like you've said earlier in the show and just now, like you guys are friends, you know, and you guys make great music together, and it's about fun. Like part of creating music is it's fun as hell, right? And it's like this fucking addicting process and to be around. Is that so? Is that kind of like one of the main driving forces of why you guys are about to make a big push this year?
Yeah, it's just fun, like having fun and just, you know, like knowing how to work with each other and just respecting each other's like ideas and opinions, and that makes it fun again. It's just really that. Like I can't really. I don't think it's um too much past it.
No, you're right. And I wanted to also talk about like, so yeah, like the things you do when you just have free time and you're not you're not in the zone on making music. Like what are some kind of hobbies that you have that you just enjoy to pursue?
Man, I'm into everything, man. I don't know. Like I recently I've been traveling a lot, just trying to see new places. Like me and my girl like just like to try to, well, like we've just started, but like our goal wise is like trying to just travel, see places. Obviously I'm really love branding and fashion and shit like that. So I'm always like keeping it to that shit. Trying to get back into doing like shoots, modeling shoots and stuff like that. Just, you know, just all the auxiliary being an artist, but at the same time, like I like future wise, like I wrote a book. I want to get it published. That's one of my goals, like my short term goals. And yeah, like I'm just taking it one thing that inspires me at a time.
You wrote a whole book?
Yeah. So one of the albums I made, I wrote a book to go with it, and I think that the book is like good by like standing alone by itself, but I need to finish illustrating it, and then I need to figure out how to publish it. But the book is written; it's done.
How long is the book?
It's like stylized like a children's book, so it's not that long. It's like about 12 pages.
Yeah, that's hard though. I've always had interest in doing stuff like that.
Yeah, like I kind of just want it to be like a coffee book or a coffee table type book situation.
Oh, that's smooth. And when did you kind of come up with the idea for it? You just like while creating the album?
Yeah.
That's hard. And what are some places you want to like travel to that you haven't been to yet?
I don't know. I know we wanted to go to like Morocco. I want to go back. I gotta go back out to Ghana. Want to get back to Tokyo soon. Just you know, just wherever it comes, like wherever you see some shit interesting going down, and but those are the main three places. I know I've always wanted to go to Nice. I've been to Paris before, but I never went to Nice, and I would love to like go these places and actually partner with you know, just instead of just going like on vacation, just partner with some sort of publication and just kind of document the experiences and shit like that, and go do specific things and just give like a perspective, you know, like from an artist's perspective or just from a nigga from Chicago's perspective on just being in the world and shit. Because I think it's important, like, for people to have that type of representation where it's like, it's digestible, where it's like, oh, a person kind of just like me went over here, and this is how he experienced. So, you know, if I'm getting to go somewhere, or I at some point feel like I want to go there, like there's some sort of blueprint or some sort of like translatable experience to give people.
No, that's a really cool point. That's a really cool film project too, to like follow you to like different countries and hear like what it's like for someone who's from Chicago to like be in those places. I think that's like, I agree, it would be a really good resource too for just people to hear, and it's something they should get to like hear. Find the partner for you to, their production company, to go do that. I ask every guest this on the show, and you mentioned you're into fashion. So I'm curious to kind of know, what are your 3 favorite sneaker shoe models that you've been wearing like heavy in rotation?
Sneaker shoe models. Pirate Moss makes a shoe that I probably wear every day. The original collab with Reebok. I like the silhouette on that shoe a lot. I guess timeless shoe. Can't go wrong with no for white forces, but they just upped the price on them bitches to $90 to $100. So I might boycott them for a while. There's no reason for that. That's kind of like. What else? What else, man? Skepta made a shoe this year that I really like. It's versatile wise. Like, I wear it to the gym, and then I would wear it like, it's still like a nice shoe where you could wear it with some trousers and shit like that.
That's hard. You said Skepta too?
Yeah,
that's hard. See, I like these peculiar ass answers, because I've gotten like Crocs, I get Jordan 1s for basically half the interviews. Like, these are all like different.
I don't go wrong with no Jordan 1s, but I'm just telling you what I'd be actually wearing, trying to wear. And then like just to keep it basic, some Jordan 1s, like my OffWhite Jordan 1s. The red ones, like, just especially, you know, in recent events, I found myself back attached to that shoe. So, those are the main 3 that I say I put on, or you could catch me with on.
No, that's hard. And I feel like, yeah, especially with the whole, like, with Virgil's passing, I mean, that hit everybody hard. It was just, I remember exactly where I was getting that news and all of that. And what do you think is good, like, the future with OffWhite, like, products is going to look like? I don't just mean like the clothes. I mean like the line itself, like where it kind of goes in the new direction. Like, Kanye is going to hopefully pick up, or Ye is going to pick up where like he left off with Louis. So that's cool, at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, OffWhite, the brand itself, has been sold for some time now. So they're probably going to continue to kind of regurgitate and push those things. And I'm pretty sure that to some degree, he left shit in, like, not left shit in place, but built a team that kind of understood his vision, hopefully. But that can only go so far, because that doesn't really leave the room for the innovation. But I don't know. I don't have that answer. You know what I mean? Like, I can only hope that, like, the inspiration of that man pushes the next version of him to do, you know. There's so many other talented designers like him, like Samuel Ross and Heron Prestons, and you know, just even Matthew Williams and shit like that. Like, it's just hella raw design that, you know, can be inspired by him to go just as hard. Oh, Kirby from Iron Moss. I think he's an amazing designer. He's always doing very innovative in whatever space that he's been able to carve out. So, it's only time will tell that answer. There's I don't.
Right.
It can be like, this is what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
No, you're right. I get that. It's just interesting because like I'm more into like the sneaker side of it, like fashion, something that I've really picked up the last like couple years, rather than like shoes I've been doing for like a damn near decade. And it's just like I just hope that the brand doesn't like you were saying at the top, just doesn't like saturate the hell out of stuff in the future, and they really do a good job kind of like emulating and like mortalizing Virgil and what he kind of just created with it. And what you were saying earlier about the forces going up to 100, they should have just made the price go down, if anything. Like, even just like imagine if they were 65, because then people would buy 2 pairs, and then you'd make more money, because then it'd be like 130 for 2 pairs versus 110 for one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to make it more of a premium too, or I don't know. It's just wild to me whenever some shit goes up that's been so consistent, and the demographic of people who are buying these shoes are not the most rich people anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like when you up the price point, it's like now you kind of are changing the demographic of people who have access to that shoe. And that shit kind of whack. So
not valid. That's valid as hell. I don't have any more questions for you. My real like last point is just say your social medias and where people can listen to your music and like again just follow you.
Man, follow me on Spotify. That's probably the most beneficial thing that motherfuckers can do for me right now. Follow me on Spotify. My IG there, my Twitter's there. They're both Superstar Kami. On IG, it's Superstar with 3 R's at the end. But more importantly, Kami on Spotify, all caps. Go there, press follow, and that'll help me put some more music out, put some more content out, put some more vibes out, and just keep it pushing.
Well, thank you again for sitting down with us. It was really great to have you on the show. And this was another episode of the Culture Capture Spotlight podcast. Tune in next week for a new episode.